All right, welcome back to the Adobe After Effects tutorial with Mr. Will. Thanks for joining me. Today, we're about to talk about 3D. What does it stand for? It stands for three-dimensional. Just like 2D stands for two-dimensional. Two-dimensional is a flat surface, okay? It's a flat object, it's a flat canvas, okay? Three-dimensional, which refers to three spatial dimensions of height, width, and depth. Everything in our physical world is three-dimensional, okay? Including this spray can of citrus magic, including the cups that you drink out of, including the basketballs that we dribble, okay? We occupy a three-dimensional space, which makes this so cool to be able to learn, because this will make your content creation that much better, okay? This will actually take you to the next tier. So with that being said, though, don't be intimidated. Don't be afraid. Yard by yard is hard. Inch by inch is a cinch. So before we jump in this tutorial, make sure that you're following along, okay? So this is designed for you to do step by step and follow along and do as I do, okay? So rewind it as much as you need to. Pause it. Do what you need to do to be able to follow along, because you're going to want to be able to demonstrate these skills, because again, you want to take your content creation to the next level. So let's get started. All right, so I have a new composition already created, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come up to the Windows tab, come over to Workspace, and I'm going to reset all panels to the default layout, right? That way we are all looking at the same interface. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to start off by saying that After Effects will provide you with a lot of resources, okay, a lot of tools. And that means your tools is such tools in the form of shapes, typography, which is fonts, and other visual elements that you'll have at your disposal. It's a lot of options out here. In this tutorial, we're going to show you how to make shape elements. We're going to show you how to turn 2D shapes into 3D models and add animation to it, okay? So we're going to start off with going into the toolbar, okay? We're going to click the rectangle tool, and we're going to come over to the compositions panel, and we're going to hold shift and drag, and we're going to create a square. All right, so there we have a square on our canvas, okay? So you see it in our timeline panel, and it says shape layer 1. All right, first things first, we want to make sure that we set the anchor points for our square, because for tutorial's sake, we want to make sure that we are getting the right animations that we want for this project. So we want to reset this anchor point. So I'm going to show you a couple things. Well, actually, you click the pan behind tool, and then I'm going to double click on the image, and you'll see the anchor point appear right in the center of the screen. I'm going to pull that anchor point, and I'm going to put it right in the center of our square, okay? So our anchor point now is set. So I'm going to drop down our properties, our principles, and I'm going to come down to of the layer. I'm going to come down to transform, and I set that anchor point. As you can see, the anchor point and position is set. You can see by it being blue diamonds, and you can also see that by being silver diamonds in the actual timeline. It's blue diamonds to the left of the stopwatch, okay? This is not a three-dimensional image, all right? So how do we do that? This is going to be real simple. What you do is you come back up to the shape layer, all right? To the right of it, you'll see a bunch of switches. You want to click this last switch right here, which if you hold the mouse cursor over it, it'll show you 3D layer. So I'm going to check that box. As you see, a 3D layer indicator, orientation indicator appeared on our compositional screen, which is right here, this thing right here, okay? So now that we notice a 3D image, let's go ahead and ensure it that way we can visually see it as well. So what we want to do is come over to where it says active camera, our view, active camera. We're going to click that, and I'm going to scroll up to, or you're going to have to scroll down, but come to custom view 1. All right, so now you can truly see that this is it's a 3D image, but it's a 2D model of a shape. Okay, so let's make that a 3D image, a 3D model. What you want to do is you want to come down to the transform properties. As you scroll down, you will see geometry options. You click that and you come down to extrusion depth. As you see, it's at a 0 value. Let's go ahead and increase that. As you see, we have a 3D image. All right, we have a 3D model. I'm sorry. Congratulations. Go ahead and give yourself a hand, pat yourself on the back. You did it, and it was not that hard, okay? You just got to know what to do, okay? You got to be comfortable with how to get things done, the process. So, congratulations. Let's go ahead and keep going. So, we now have a 3D model. If you want to go ahead and like tweak this and make it look better, like add shadows and different colors and textures, you want to come click on the contents, expand the rectangle, and go ahead and explore these options. All right, the fill options, the stroke options, there is a plethora of options for you to go ahead and toggle with to get the shape and image that you really want. Okay, but for time's sake and for the tutorial, we're just going to keep it basic. All right, so we already have 2 keyframes, right? We're going to add some animation to this. We have 2 keyframes already on the timeline. All right, so we have the anchor point and the position point. So we're going to start our animation right here, okay? What we want to do is we want to make the animation appear like it's floating through space. So I'm going to come to the position principle, and I'm going to increase, oops, it's right here. I'm going to move the timeline indicator down the timeline, and then I'm going to change the value of our shape. Here we go, position value. All right, so I'm gonna repeat, I'm gonna move a few frames forward, and then I'm also gonna change the position value of the shape. I'm gonna repeat, change the position value. All right, we'll do it one more time. Come over here and change that far left position value. All right, so therefore, what I'm gonna do, because that's as far as we're gonna go, so it's about 7.14 seconds into the composition. So I just wanna work in this area. So what we wanna do is just come down here and just type in. All right, so as you see, the workspace area was condensed to our 7.14 seconds, so we don't have to worry about keyframing and anything outside of our immediate work area that we're trying to focus on. So let's bring this animation, let's bring the timeline indicator back over to 0, 0. And let's go ahead and minimize this, and let's hit the space bar. Let's see what happens. So as you see, our 3D animation, our 3D model has animation and it looks like it's floating through space. Let's give that just a little bit more depth, shall we? Let's go ahead and jump back into After Effects. We're going to hit the space bar, and we're going to drag the timeline indicator back over to 0, 0, 0. We're going to expand, and we're going to come back down to transform, and we're going to change the Z orientation. All right, we're going to leave it like that for the first keyframe. Leave it at a start point. Start point will be here, so we're just going to hit the stopwatch. So now we're going to move forward a little bit, and then we're going to change that Z value. I'm going to move forward a little bit, change that Z value, move forward a little bit, change that Z value, move forward a little bit, change the Z value, move forward a little bit, change the Z value. All right, move forward just one more keyframe, line it up with the other, and then change the value, And then, all right. So we're going to bring the timeline indicator back on over, and let's go ahead and hit spacebar. So as you see, now our 3D model is rotating through space. It's not only moving, but it's rotating. So it looks really different than a flat image going across the screen. It adds depth to it. It actually looks like really, really good, really believable. So take the time that you need to go over this tutorial, go step by step, all right? Once you get to learn it, explore, like come up with your own concepts, come up with your own shapes, use other shapes, use typography to go ahead and dive deep into 3D. So for this tutorial, we only dealt with the shape, so you understand how to turn a 2D image into a 3D model and add animation. So we will see you in the next segment. Take care.